So hello everyone, welcome to this another video of Spring REST playlist. I'm Abhishek Verma and now you have started watching the video in which we are going to cover another theoretical concept related to Spring REST. Now you may say that okay Abhishek, how many more theoretical videos when you are going to actually start with the coding part? So trust me, this is the last theoretical video and from the next video we are going to start with the practical stuff. Now in today's video, we are going to understand the architecture of Spring REST. Not only Spring REST, but we are also going to understand the architecture of Spring MVC. Now you may say that okay Abhishek, we need to learn Spring REST. So why we should understand Spring MVC architecture? The reason is very simple. Still, in many of the companies, in many of the projects, they are making usage of Spring MVC. Now the thing is that Spring MVC and Spring REST are close friends, or you can say they are very close cousins. So there are small differences and there are many more similarities. Hence, it is important to understand the architecture of both of them. Also, the way of creating an MVC project is almost similar to the way of creating a REST project, and hence it becomes important. Trust me, there are only 2 slides for this, not more than that. So without wasting any more time, let's directly get started and see how the things are going to look like. Now today, instead of directly starting with the presentation, I thought first of all let me show you the output which we are going to achieve. So here you see we have a URL /owners/MVC and this application is running on my local host. So this is the output of MVC. Here you see on the top, we are seeing this kind of particular header. Then we get the total number of pets information. These are 72. Here we can scroll and you can see the details of all the 72 owners as well as their pets. At the end, I have also added some footers and here these are my social media icons on which you should start following me if you are not following till now. Because again, I keep on providing some updates on these platforms about my upcoming videos. So this is how the MVC output is going to look like. Now, please don't judge my UI skills here because even I know these are pathetic. Even this particular UI I have created with the help of ChatGPT and still I was able to reach at this point only. If you are good in UI, then you can suggest me how to make it even more better. So this is MVC. Now let's see the same information in REST. So in the REST, this time the URL is /owners/REST. Now here in the URL itself, you will see that I have used the words MVC and REST. The only reason is that I have made this thing with the help of same application. These are not 2 different applications. It's a single code only. So hence to differentiate between the request, I made the usage of MVC and REST. Otherwise, it's not at all a good practice and this is just for the demo purpose. So here you see we are having the same information but in the REST. And this is the JSON as you know. So here this is the owner ID 1 and these are the owner details. So you can see the first name is John, the last name is Doe, and if you don't see it clearly, let me announce something like big. Okay. So now you see this is the clear-cut information. And again, these are going to be 72 owners. So I'll just quickly scroll down till the bottom. So this is my last owner, Olivia, who is from Kargil and Ladakh. Okay, now let's go back to this one. And here, first of all, I should be decreasing the size to something like this. And here, let me again show you this part. So this is the same last owner available here. So that means this is the MVC and this is the REST. And that was the only difference between MVC and REST. So as I kept on telling you till now that MVC is something which is directly going to be used by the humans. And REST is something which is going to be used by the machines again. Okay, so you are not going to read this information like this. Instead, your code is going to read this information. Now let's see with the help of a small presentation that how we were able to make this kind of MVC application or how we were able to make this kind of REST application. Trust me, only 2 slides, not many. So now let's start with the architecture of Spring MVC. First of all, you see there are multiple colorful boxes, but don't worry, it is going to become very, very easy for you in some time after this. I will explain you in an easy way. Also, the same thing you need to explain to your interviewer because this is one of the important interview questions also where they will directly ask you explain Spring MVC architecture. First of all, you see we are having a very big box known as dispatcher servlet or also known as front controller. By the name only we can say this is something like a front desk of a particular shop, where a customer will go and then they will be able to identify whether we can serve this request or not. So a request something like this will go, and you can see in the request we are currently having the complete URL localhost :8080/owners, and this is the complete information. So from here dispatcher servlet will try to identify, can I serve this or not? If not, it will simply reject it. Okay, there can be multiple reasons. Generally a single application is going to have single dispatcher servlet only. Now what do I mean by the term single application here? Your single Spring Boot project. So it will have only one dispatcher servlet. So it will go there, it will identify, let's say it has passed the test. Then it will move this owners part. So only this particular /owners will be taken from here, because this is your endpoint. Now why do we call it as endpoint? Because this is a point which is coming at end. So hence we call it as endpoint. So it will only pick /owners out of this and it will send it to the handler mapping. Now handler mapping does an important job. It will try to identify that which controller and which particular method can handle this particular kind of endpoint. So here it will identify that there is a class owner controller in which we are having a method find all owners, and that can serve this kind of a request. So what it will do is it will send this information back to the dispatcher servlet. Now how it will send the information, that is not a point of discussion as of now. Okay, we just need to know it will send it back to the dispatcher servlet. Now generally this handler mapping is a XML file. Okay, so there will be an XML file. In an XML file you can assume there will be something key known as /owners, and the value is going to be the controller class name as well as the method name. So that will be provided in this number 3 back to the dispatcher servlet. Now dispatcher servlet knows that I need to go to this particular class, and within that in this particular method. So then it will go there. Now in this controller here you can see there is only one box, but in reality in your application there can be multiple controller classes. Yeah, like in the previous playlist also you seen that in Spring Data JPA playlist, in Spring Basics with Spring Boot playlist, we were having the Pakistan scenario where we were making the owner service, pet service, we were having owner repository, pet repository. Same way here also we can have owner controller Java class and pet controller Java class. So this part is your Java class only. So it will go there. There we are having a method find all owners, and there it will invoke this particular method. Now on this method also there will be a annotation, some annotation will be there that I will tell you in the next video, but there it is going to mention /owners here. Then from this controller it will be invoking the service. Obviously it will get auto-wired, so that will be invoked. Then it is going to invoke the repository. Then it is going to invoke the actual database. Now this database can be MySQL also, it can be PostgreSQL also, it doesn't matter. Same way this repository you can implement with the help of Spring Data JP also, you can implement with Spring ORM also. Again, that is not a point of discussion, but a good application should be implementing it with the help of Spring Data JP only, and for this you should be watching my previous playlist. Then now the data is going to come back from the database. It will go to the repository, from there it will go to the service, and from there it is going to the controller class. Yeah. Then from the controller class it will again go back to the dispatcher servlet. Now the question is, what information will go to the dispatcher servlet? So first of all, the data. Since you are finding all the owners, so it is going to return you the list of owner DTO. Plus it is also going to return you the name of HTML page or the name of a view which can show this data in a beautiful way. So this information we have coded within this find all owners method only. From the service layer, it will get the list of owner DTO, which it will pass as it is. Plus this information we have mentioned in this controller itself, in this method itself, that which particular UI screen can handle this kind of data in a good way. And you see, I'm not mentioning any kind of thing here, like whether it's an HTML, whether it is JSP, whether it is CSS or what. I just need to provide the name.
in the code also, we only need to give a name. It can be any name, your choice. Yeah. So these two information we are going to provide to the dispatcher servlet. Now this owners list is obviously going to be a string only, and this list of owner DTO will be automatically a JSON here. Yeah, or it can be an object, you can say. So these two things will go there. Now dispatcher servlet knows the name of a page, and dispatcher servlet knows the data also which needs to be shown. But the problem here is dispatcher servlet don't know where this owners list exists, because it is just a name. I am not providing that in which folder it is available. I'm not even providing any kind of prefix with it, whether it's an HTML. Any extension is not provided here. Yep. So for this, it will take help of view resolver. Now it will send only this owners list information, only that particular word it will send to view resolver. The job of view resolver is something like handler mapping only, but it does for the views. What it will do is it will contain all the information of all the views where they exist. So it will see that, okay, this orders list is actually available in this folder, SRC main resources. Generally you see this thing in your Spring Boot project. Within that there is a folder templates. Within that we have this file and the extension is .html. So this information is in view resolver. So again you can say view resolver is doing the same job which handler mapping was doing. The only difference is handler mapping was mapping the APIs or the endpoints with the Java classes and methods, and view resolver is mapping the view name with the complete view location. So that's the only thing. And this view resolver is generally, again, you can say an XML file or a properties file. Nothing more than that. So this information it will provide only this complete location. Now dispatcher servlet knows the complete location of owners list also, as well as it has the data list of owner DTO. So it will go to that particular page or that particular view, we can say. So in this 14 number, you see it is actually going to that owners list.html. So view, I'm using a in general term here, which we use for all kind of views. It can be HTML, it can be JSP, or it can be anything. Yeah? So it can be anything, something like this. So there, now within this particular page, it will embed all this owner DTO data, because this page was supposed to handle this kind of list owner DTO. So it will do there, and then it will return it back to the dispatcher servlet. And what it is going to return? It is going to return this kind of a view. Same thing which you show just few minutes ago in the browser. So same information will be sent back to the dispatcher servlet, and then dispatcher servlet will send it to the user. So this is how it is going to work. And that is the whole story, which you guys also need to explain whenever someone will ask you about Spring MVC architecture. Yeah. Then obviously if you wish, you can make it a bit shorter, but this is how it is going to work. Now some important things here is that this database is obviously an external entity. It can be MySQL, PostgreSQL, anything. Controller, service, and repository. These three boxes are your Java classes. Yeah. Dispatcher servlet, and although I'm using the term here front controller, but this is again something like an XML file. Handler mapping is an XML file. View resolver is a properties file. It can be XML file, it can be a properties file. And this things only, not a particular XML file or any kind of Java file. Yeah? So these are the particular things, which means that now if you are making a Spring MVC, you need to make all these things. A small little bit change here is that if you are implementing Spring MVC using Spring Boot, then you don't need to worry about dispatcher servlet. Automatically Spring Boot will create one for you. Yeah. You also don't need to worry about handler mapping. Spring Boot will create for you. You also don't need to worry about view resolver nowadays. Spring Boot will take care it for you. You only need to create these Java classes, and you only need to make this particular kind of view. Because in my application also, I just made only these things only. As of now, I won't show you that application because our goal for this playlist is not MVC. Yeah. So only these things you need to make, but still you need to know about all these things. Okay, you can't say that okay, Spring Boot will make, so I won't know what is handler mapping or view resolver. Things are not going to work like this. Now also one more important thing which you can understand from here is that now if you want to make a Spring MVC application, you should be good in the backend as well as in the front end part. Yeah, because you should be good in HTML, you should be good in CSS, you should be good in JS. Otherwise, you will end up in making a website, something like me only, which is not good looking. So another option, what you can do who are like me. So guys, before we jump on towards the main part of our video, let me show you this particular website which I have created for you. So here you will see all the playlists which are available on my channel. So first of all, you see there is a Java developer roadmap video. It is just a simple video I made in 2024. Do let me know if you want to create me a new video so that we can change this thumbnail. Beside this, you will see Java basics here. You will see Java advanced playlist. You will see JDBC. You will see Maven, Hibernate. Then we have Spring Basics with Spring Boot. Then we have Spring Data JPA. And then we have the ongoing series Spring REST with Spring Boot. The more we are going to create, the more I'm going to add here. Then beside this, there are some shorts playlist also. I'm not sure whether you are watching them or not, but we have the daily interview questions as well as we have daily 3-minute coding videos also. Currently, the daily 3-minute coding is going on. This I'm not updating as of now. Yeah. Beside this, there are some installation videos of Java 21, STS, Maven, MySQL, dbeaver, Postman, all these are available. Also, some non-technical videos are available, like my complete IT journey and how I switched from a service-based company to a product-based company without going into the depth of DSA, but by making usage of Java and Spring Boot. It's available in both the languages, English as well as Hindi. So it's your wish which one you wish to watch here. Besides this, all my social icons are available. So I suggest you that you should get connected with me on all of them. Then besides this, another thing which I wanted to show you here was that who am I? So many times you just wanted to know whether I'm working in a particular company, whether I'm a student, or who am I? Am I just a freelancer, or why I'm not charging you anything? So everything is available here. So you can go through this particular part also. Again, you can check my content, and here I just wanted to show for this Java basics, because the thing is for this Java basics, I don't have any playlist as such. And the reason why I don't create a playlist is because I always say the basics part is very well understand if you learn it from any college book. It can be anything, but it should be covering all these Java concepts. So all these things come under Java basics, almost 39 items here. Then once you are clear with the basics part of it, then you can jump towards my Java advanced playlist, and from there onwards I'll take care for you. Okay, I'll teach you Java advanced, JDBC, Maven, Hibernate, and all these things in the particular sequence. So do like this and do share it with your other friends also who just want to know the roadmap. Yeah, so now let's jump on towards the main part of this video. So we can go for Spring REST. Now you see that this is also looking similar to the previous Spring MVC only. The only difference, and that's the big difference here, is we don't have view resolver, we don't have any view here. And that's the only difference here. Yeah, rest almost everything is going to remain same. Let's fast forward the things a bit. So first of all, again we get a request, again something like this. Here I'm assuming these are two different applications. So that's why I'm not mentioning /MVC or /REST in the endpoint. Then from there it will again go to the handler mapping. From there again it will try to identify which controller, which method can serve this particular kind of endpoint. Then again it is going to send this information to dispatcher servlet. Now again dispatcher servlet will invoke this class. Here we are calling it as REST controller. As of now, if you wish, you can call it controller also, or later on the best term is REST controller. So from there again, the rest of the things are same, to service, to repository, database, data will come back, data will come back, data will come back, and data will come back to the dispatcher servlet. Now this time, the data which is coming back is only list of owner DTO, that's it. This time there is no view name here because no one is going to handle the view. So only you are going to see a JSON output, something like this. And that's it. The same JSON output we are going to send back to the user whosoever has requested it. So this is the main difference between MVC and Spring REST. And that is also one of the main reasons why most of the interviewers are going to ask you about the Spring MVC architecture, not the Spring REST architecture. Because REST architecture is not different, almost same as MVC. Only the thing is those two extra things are not available here. Again, important thing, if you are doing it with the help of Spring Boot, which we will be doing in this playlist, you don't need to make this dispatcher servlet. It's gone for you. You also don't need to worry about this handler mapping. That is also gone for you. You just need to make the method find all owners within the REST controller, owner controller, and there you need to put an annotation. Within annotation, you mention /owners, and things are going to work for you. JSON is the by default preferred output by REST. If you wish, you can return XML also. For that, we need to do some extra hard work, which also I will show you in one of the demos later on during this particular playlist here. So this is the main thing, guys. Now you see, for doing Spring MVC, you need to be good in backend as well as you need to be good in that particular UI part. But in order to do Spring REST, you just need to be good in backend. And that was the main thing here. Also, another important thing is that Spring MVC you see, generally we will use whenever I want to make the complete website, but then no one can reuse it in any form of way. Okay, I mean, it can't be reused. So I have made a particular kind of UI, then any other company can't reuse as it is, even if they want to show my services. But in this case, I'm sending a particular JSON response. Now my company can show it in different UI format. I can send it to Make My Trip, then they can show it in different UI format. I can show it to any other company. They can show it in any other UI format, whatever they wish. Another important thing is that, okay, Abhishek, this is fine. We understood the difference between MVC and REST. But the thing is Spring MVC still in usage? The answer is, in most of the projects which were made earlier, okay, very old projects, their Spring MVC used to be there. But nowadays, if anyone is making a new project from scratch, Spring MVC is not going to be available there, because it's an old technology here. Now, instead of Spring MVC, what we do is, in the backend, with the help of Java, with the help of Spring Boot, we only make Spring REST and we send this JSON data or XML data. Then the UI part we handle with the help of Angular or React. So there must be some front-end developer in your company who will be consuming this UI data, and then they will be showing it to the users. Or in case if your company is only doing the job of making the APIs, only doing the job of making this URLs, then they will only provide this information. Whosoever is the client, they will just simply accept it and show it to their users. Yep. So that is the main thing, guys. Now I hope the things are clear. And if you are convinced that we should learn Spring REST, then you can tell me in the comments. Otherwise, believe me, this was the last video where I can convince you, because in the next video, we are actually going to start with the hands-on part, that how these things are going to work in the reality. But for this, all these videos were important. I hope you find it interesting. If yes, you know that you just need to like the video, you need to subscribe to the channel, you need to share it with as many as friends as possible, because sharing is again free of cost. So thanks everyone, stay healthy and see you in the next video. Bye bye.